Live on Kprc TV and the Kprc 2 Plus live stream. The news starts now.
Right now at 10, some of the big stories that you've been following throughout the day on your phone, including a new clue into the murder investigation of a Nepalese student in Houston.
And we're also talking to a mom and a dad from Pearland ISD who say their son was wrongly accused of having a vape pen at school and then suspended.
Weather a big story as well. I'm tracking rounds of storms for tomorrow. They're timing out for your morning and afternoon commutes.
And a one-man home run derby for the Astros. Did you see this today? Yordan Alvarez putting on a show in Philadelphia. Just giving you a taste right here, but I'm going to show you more of these bombs coming up in sports.
But first, we have some breaking news that we're following. A 16-year-old girl missing for several days now. Madeline Doe's was last seen Sunday evening around 6 o'clock at her home in the Huron Lake Estate subdivision in Northwest Harris County.
We have a QR code on your screen so you can share her picture and help spread the word. Her parents say Madeline, who has autism, left home on Sunday after they reprimanded her. They're worried about her safety.
This happened last year when she was doing some things on a cell phone that she wasn't supposed to be doing.
Monday, July 8th, Hurricane Beryl came ashore, leaving more than 2 million people in the Houston area in the dark. Now, 12 days later, Centerpoint says the lights are back on for all but a few thousand. We've been tracking those outage numbers all evening. At 5 o'clock, it was just under 3,000. At 6, it jumped back up to 5,400. At 7, back down to just under 2,500. 8, a drop in outages again to 1,600. At 9, another drop to 1,230. And I've got my phone here with me right now, a live check on the outages for you. That number back up to 2007.
And the Kprc 2 Plus live stream. The news starts now.
Tonight at 10, KPRC2 getting results.
It all started with this story on clicktohouston.com. Homeowners learning their deeds were transferred without them knowing.
How can somebody go take what you worked hard for, what you suffered to get, and hold on to it?
It's been a story with many twists and turns. Now another one.
Since our story, it's gone from deed theft to deed returned. Bryce Newberry in the newsroom with this big win for those homeowners, only on 2. Bryce.
Andy, tonight these homeowners.
The families of the 8 students and 2 teachers killed and some of the survivors from that day, those who were wounded, all have long called for an independent investigation of what led up to the shooting and an analysis of the police response. They turned to the Department of Justice for help, sending a request letter. But look what they got in return, a letter from the DOJ that mentions Columbine, not Santa Fe. The letter states if the author thinks a crime has been committed, call the FBI. It's not even signed by a person, just correspondence management staff.
I found it disrespectful and demeaning.
When I read that, I was like, what?
It's like the shooting, everybody's forgot, nobody cares. It's never mentioned. So they just want us to shut up and go away.
Quite frankly, 6 years is long enough for these people to be suffering without any answers.
We asked DOJ officials to explain this letter, but we have not gotten a response. Meanwhile, as far as the criminal case goes, it's still at a standstill. The charged gunman, Dimitrios Pagorchis, remains incompetent to stand trial. A civil lawsuit against his parents, however, is set for trial on July 29th. Robert Arnold, KPRC 2 News.
Live on Kprc TV and the Kprc 2 Plus live stream. The news starts now.
Right now at 6, 2 in less than a week. The bodies of newborn babies found abandoned.
One in a ditch, the other in the back of a trash truck.
Tonight, from the community and from emergency responders, a call to spread awareness about the Baby Moses Law.
I believe there's a lot of fear of prosecution, a fear of judgment, and lack of knowledge and understanding.
That fire captain, one of the first to respond to yesterday's scene.
It's all part of our team coverage, starting with KPRC2's Bill Barajas in North Harris County. Bill?
Well, under the Safe Haven or Baby Moses law, you can drop off your child at any hospital, EMS station, or fire station, just like this one. The only thing is you have to physically hand the child over to an employee at that designated location. Using this training doll, we'll show you what that process looks like. We're talking about the Baby Moses law and what you can do if you have a child and you cannot care for him. One of your options is to bring him to a fire station like this. It all starts with just ringing the doorbell and waiting for a firefighter to come out.
Hey, good afternoon, sir.
I cannot care for my child. What do I do?
Okay. You can hand me the child. Is there any information about the child you'd like to disclose?
Do I have to?
No, sir, you don't have to disclose, but anything you do disclose can help us provide better care for the patient.
Does it matter how old my child is?
Yes, sir, as long as the child is under 60 days old.
He's a month, so I should be good. What happens now? Do I have to do anything?
No, sir. At this point, I will take custody of the child. I will transfer custody to EMS. We'll get any kind of medical help that the child may need and get into contact with Child Protective Services.
And I'm free to go.
You are.
Captain Agustin Martinez says it's simple and safe. It also keeps him from hopefully never responding to a tragic scene involving an abandoned child like he did yesterday. The newborn baby found in a ditch just over 2 miles from their fire station in front of an Aldine area concrete plant.
It is frustrating. It is tragic for everybody involved.
Martinez says given the options available, no child should be dumped or abandoned.
Whether you're afraid that you're not able to provide the proper care for the child, whether the child was a result of a sexual assault, whether the child is going to be a burden or has some sort of health issues you may not feel capable of providing, it doesn't matter what your reason is. We're not here for judgment. We're here to prevent things like what happened yesterday.
And we also want to add that it has to be the parent that drops the child off, not a friend or relative. For more information on the Baby Moses law, you can go to our website, click2houston.com. We also have a number of resources there. We're live in North Harris County. Bill Barajas, Kprc 2 News.
Great information there, Bill. Thank you. And we want to continue our team coverage right now. A new study from Johns Hopkins University has found an increase in infant and newborn deaths in Texas since the state implemented its abortion ban. KPRC2 reporter Corley Peel joining us now with if there is any connection to abortion ban and these abandoned babies. Corley.
That's unclear. The latest abortion ban study did not give specifics on how the newborns died or what led up to their deaths. And we do have a QR code on your screen there that will send you a direct link to the article with more information about that study. But those abandonments here in Houston, those cases involving those newborns, is still under investigation. Since June, 6 newborns have been found abandoned across Houston. 2 of them were dead. Alicia Lee with March of Dimes says a woman's access to health care, social and economic factors could have an impact.
We know that the social determinants of health, the social drivers of health, where you live, work, play, worship, get an education, all of those resources and social services, or the lack of the resources and the community support that a woman may or may not have, are potentially playing a factor into the decision-making process that she's having.
This recent Johns Hopkins study shows in Texas, infant and newborn deaths are up roughly 13% since the state implemented the abortion ban. Across the nation, infant deaths rose by only 2%. At this time, there isn't information supporting that these cases are related to the impacts of the state's abortion law. I spoke with Abby Ladeau, who is with Planned Parenthood Gulf Coast.
But there was also a 23% rise in babies born with congenital anomalies, right? So sometimes that can mean a condition that is incompatible with life, where an infant is expected, to die within days or weeks, sometimes even hours.
And there's been a lot of conversation about resources for families and for mothers during a time of need, especially in these types of situations. We have a QR code on our screen there that will take you to a direct link to our website with that information. Reporting live, Corley Peel, KPRC 2 News.
We follow these important stories on our newscast, of course, but you can also get alerts throughout the day on your phone if you have the Click to Houston app.
Here's a snapshot of our notifications over the past 24 hours. When we learned about the newborn found on Henry Road yesterday, We sent this alert at 3:12.
And as the story developed and we learned how and where that sad discovery was made, we sent another update at 4:42.
And today, just within the last few hours, another notification as we continue our deep dives into infant mortality in Texas.
You can download the free Click to Houston app right now and get the news first on your smartphone. Just scan this QR code on your screen. Now, we know you probably need more time to grab your phone, so we're going to put this QR code back up in just a few minutes.
All right, hot classrooms and hot students. Failing AC units at the HISD schools are just the latest problem in the district. The problem is so bad at T.H. Rogers that the failure of the school's HVAC system prompted a closure today. And to make matters worse, parents are not getting answers on when it might be fixed. KPRC 2's Dajia Swad has been asking the district questions all day. Daji.
Yeah, hey there. We have sent phone calls, made phone calls, sent emails to HISD, not only for T.H. Rogers, but the other schools that are dealing with these issues. Now, we did speak with several parents on and off camera about T.H. Rogers students and their children who attend. There has been an update within the last hour. They are planned to go back to school tomorrow after the principal of T.H. Rogers sent an email saying that the HVAC problem has been resolved and they are looking to open once again those doors tomorrow. Now, parents that we spoke with say the communication is one of the biggest challenges that they are having as their kids attend HISD.
We're looking at other options for ourselves because it's not a place where I can send them with comfort.
Tracy Tate loved the idea of her daughter going to T.H. Rogers until communication from HISD fell through the vents.
So when I picked her up, she was sweaty and she had been clearly in a hot room for a long time.
Tate picked up her daughter, who's in kindergarten, Tuesday afternoon after receiving a text from another parent that the school was without AC. Tracy received a message from the school later about the AC issue.
I was furious. I think the first thing that came to my mind is I'm not relying on middle schoolers for the well-being of my children. I'm relying on the staff for the well-being of my children. And to not get that communication from the principal was disheartening. I feel like I can't trust the school to do what's best for my kid.
Have you seen any activity of them working on the HVAC system or anything like that in the last week or even before school started?
No, I do know that they mentioned it at the Meet the Principal, but I think my interpretation of it was once school opened that it was taken care of, because why would you open a school without it working? And if it wasn't working, then I think there should be regular updates.
Parents sending messages to KPRC with reports of St. George's Place preschool and second grade classrooms with no air. Heights High School parents picking up some of their students early because of the unbearable heat. And parents at Love Elementary School, Harvard Elementary School, and Desham Elementary School have also reached out saying their child's classrooms were too hot. I'm standing outside right now, and I can tell you it is hot indeed. Yesterday, once again, was the hottest day of the year so far, and we are once again still dealing with schools without properly functioning HVAC systems. Now, parents are telling me they just want help now, and they want better communication from the district. We're going to continue to press those comments and concerns of yours to HISD, and we'll let you know when we receive some answers back. In the meantime, let us know if your school is still dealing with HVAC problems as we continue through the school year. In Tanglewood, Dajia Swad, KPRC 2 News.
Daji, thank you. The Houston Police Department's 6-month scandal into over 260,000 criminal cases being suspended because the department used a code citing not enough personnel is nearing the finish line. Here's that push alert from our Click to Houston app today. The independent committee created by Mayor John Whitmire to investigate showed up to City Council to present its findings. Mario Diaz, who has broken several key elements on this scandal, is joining us now. Mario, any surprises?
There were a couple, but one that stood out specifically focused on ensuring that everyone within HPD was properly trained from the bottom all the way to the top.
It should have never happened. It will never happen again, certainly while I'm mayor.
Houston Mayor John Whitmire responding to the 90-page independent review into why for nearly a decade HPD suspended criminal cases, simply because they did not have the manpower.
We chose to focus on the divisions not only that use the code the most, but also had a tie to crimes on person, crimes against person.
Whitmire's hand-picked independent committee focusing not only on how these cases were suspended, but also discovering pivotal problems within HPD's operations that had to do primarily with training.
And I think the fact that we have officers that have been serving for a number of years and are familiar with the process, but don't necessarily know all the ins and outs.
The committee also finding that for years, many high-ranking officers in the command staff were improperly trained, yet they were put in charge of divisions without their input or experience.
So you could have a commander who's been in patrol for 20 years and then he receives notice that on Monday he's going to be in an investigative division and he has no investigative experience.
The committee made 17 recommendations ranging from a better management of cases to hiring more employees on the civilian side of HPD to improving crime analysis by staffing each division with a dedicated crime analyst. Whitmire saying afterwards that changes at HPD are already well underway.
These are not promises. This is guaranteed. We're going to improve HPD based on the recommendations and the findings of this report and bringing on a very experienced police chief.
The committee's final recommendation in the 90-page report focused on just this, HPD's chief, recommending that the chief presents to city council and the mayor every year or as needed on how any lack of resources may affect public safety. But one key question remains following the presentation of the 90-page report, and that is this. Does this report mark the end of the scandal? Whitmire made his position very clear.
It's what you don't know that scares you the most. I'm sure there's still the rest of the story.
And part of the story that remains unresolved is the fact that there are still internal affairs investigations pending against Executive Assistant Chief Chandra Hatcher, Assistant Chief Wyatt Martin, as well as Commander Donna Crawford over their actions after the scandal was made public back in February of this year. Those investigations are focused on allegations of untruthfulness as well as retaliation. In the newsroom, Mario Diaz, KPRC2 investigates.
For the second day in a row, we reached a high of 102 degrees here in the city of Houston, but temperatures tumble slowly from here after the break.